a minute ago when we were talking about the hot showers, though, I bought a sauna. Joe Rogan sold me. I bought a fucking sauna.
Maybe explain to me what a sauna is, because I picture a wooden room with the hot rocks.
Nah, I got a cheap motherfucker sauna. I got a $300 personal sauna off of Amazon.com.
Okay. What is that like?
And so it's like a PVC structure. Okay. You put it with a it's like that material they use for if you're taking food.
Foldable sauna?
No. Well, I mean, you could completely disassemble it. So it uses that reflective metal material that heat bags use for takeout orders.
Space blanket almost, yeah.
But the thick stuff that's double sided, and maybe so that makes up the body of it. Okay. You put a chair down on the floor, and it goes over the top of that. You sit in the chair, and then this thing zips up over you, and only your head sticks out. And then you've got this thing that makes steam. I think you plug it into the wall, you fill it up with a gallon or two of water, and it pumps crazy hot steam into the container that you're inside of.
What is it supposed to do for you? Just make you sweaty?
Sauna, right?
Well,
help your muscles relax.
Joe Rogan has told me a lot about shock proteins. Okay. And I want some of those. I don't know. It looks like it'd be fun.
What are the supposed
Have you ever done the hygienic chamber thing?
I wanted to do that, but Taylor didn't think it was cool.
It is amazing. It is.
I
would do it, dude. I would do it every morning if I had the kind of money to be able to have that in my house.
Are we talking about the one that freezes you super cold?
Yeah, like -170.
Oh,
yeah. That's not what I was trying to get Taylor to do. I was trying to get Taylor to do an isolation tank.
One. Yeah.
It was I pay this person to spend half an hour alone in the dark. No.
First of all, we were going to eat huge amounts of marijuana before we went in there. And I was hoping we'd trip out while in the isolation tank.
We ate huge amounts of marijuana before we did the escape room.
Sure did. And that sucked.
And we didn't escape.
We did not escape.
I remember that was a 50-minute challenge, maybe 23 minutes in, you and Chiz and probably me were just dude, this isn't fun. This sucks.
The lack of chili dogs in this activity is really getting me down.
I didn't know there wouldn't be snacks. Yeah.
We did. So I did a team building event for Woodycraft, and one of the things we did was an escape room, and I had a good time. Now I question if anyone else did. I'll have to ask Chiz how he felt about that day.
I think that stuff would be cool if you were coherent, but I wouldn't want to add the degree of an edible to it. You know what I mean?
I think I don't think we did edibles for that. I think we just smoked a ton.
We smoked, I think, whatever.
Okay. We did a few edibles on that trip, I think, but mostly just did. I mostly smoked dabs. I bought a big big ass bong. Not sure if I should say it.
Edibles have moved from the kitchen to the lab, right? And you can really know what you're getting in the doses. Have they become more beginner friendly?
Oh, they're absolutely beginner friendly. But I was never a beginner. I am amazing at making edibles.
You guys have all seen Casino, right?
Yeah.
Casino, yeah.
All right, so you know the scene when he goes back in the kitchen, he's like, "Look, this thing has hella blueberries. It has all." That's how I feel.
Can you say that again? This has this and that. I didn't hear everything.
This muffin has hella blueberries. This muffin has almost none.
Yeah.
And I feel like my feeling on edibles originally was that before they started doing it in the lab. I feel like maybe they didn't get enough of the weed in this part and they left hella in this part. They didn't spread it out enough, you know?
Well, that's not possible because so the way I don't know if I should go into how you make edibles. I feel like that's...
Let me cover it because I could be wrong. You basically make pot butter and then cook with pot butter, right? Is that where you were headed at a high level?
Yeah. So, well, you don't want to use butter. You want to use coconut oil because if it's 100% fat, and butter doesn't hold as much THC as coconut oil will. But essentially, yeah. But the thing is, the oil that you're introducing into the baking good is fully saturated with THC, and there is no part of that oil that has less or more. And as long as you stir the cookies or the brownies or the muffins or whatever appropriately, then every bite in that batch will have the same amount
butter,
of punch.
like whatever it is, gets in every bit of the cookie all over the place.
Yeah, but I've definitely made batches where holy shit, this is some powerful stuff, and I've made batches where it's do you feel anything? No. It's been 6 hours and we don't feel anything. This was garbage. I've failed before, but after a while I got really good at it to the point. And here's the thing, an ounce of weed, I don't remember the numbers, but an ounce of weed would make like enough butter for a big tray of cupcakes. But then there'd be like 2 to 3 tablespoons left over of butter. And it's like, what do you do with 2 or 3 tablespoons of
Just throw it on toast
of incredibly powerful
Drink
weed
it.
butter? I have drank it. I have warmed it up until it's liquid, and I called it a butter shot.
I'd put it on ice cream.
Ice
See-
cream.
See, it ruins it. It tastes like shit. So you got to keep in mind this stuff tastes like shit, and it's green.
Right.
All right, this
So-
is
just beginner here, but I feel like I'm representing the beginners watching the show.
sure.
That's why they make brownies out of it, because they taste so good it can kind of overpower the pot,
Yeah.
which is not tasty.
Yeah, brownies almost completely mask the flavor of it. But my thing has always been, and this is the same for alcohol and for weed. I'm not looking for like some sort of. I want the delivery device to be as potent and straight to the point as possible. If I'm drinking, I'm not doing a little shot with you. I'm not doing a Jaeger bomb. I'm not making a martini or a mixed drink. I don't want your fucking beer. I'm going to take a fucking rocks glass and I'm going to fill it halfway or 3/4 up with tequila, and I'm going to down the whole fucking thing, and I'm going to go from 0 to drunk right fucking now. So with weed, I feel the same way. It's like, I don't want to eat 2 brownies that taste pretty bad. First of all, that's a lot of empty calories that I'm not even enjoying. Tons of sugar and shit. Second of all, I could just drink the butter, right? And I'll get high quicker because my body can process it more quickly, break it down, turn it into whatever that chemical it is that that THC turns into when it gets processed by your liver. But it's just the way to go. But what I would end up doing most of the time is I would make rice, and I would like a bag of yellow rice takes, I think, 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter, which was what I usually had left over, and I'd make a big bowl of rice. I call it space rice, and I'd eat that bowl of rice, and I get so fucking high.
I couldn't
Like-
disagree with you more on the pop brownies. If you ever make pop brownies for me, please make it such that I have a good excuse to have 4 brownies and some milk.
Fair enough. Well, see, here's the thing, though. Once you get good and
You just
high,
want brownies.
you're going to get the brownies. Don't worry, the brownies are coming. All right, but they're going to be
Bring me a couple joints and some brownies. How about bring
that.
like a-
That's what you do.
And Woody's like, and hold the joints with extra brownie.
Yeah. Whenever I'm free of my probation and we can go to a legal state, we'll get you good and fucking stoned to shit, and we'll eat some regular.
I could just
brownies.
picture Kyle, like when we're all there, we're all in Colorado or whatever legal state, hanging out. Kyle's making up the brownies, and we all start to eat them. Woody's like, "All right, where's the regular batch?" Kyle's like,
this is the regular batch. Have 3. No, I would never do that to someone. I think that like dosing
not.
people, drugging people is super fucked up,
wrong.
especially when it's something like, I honestly, when it's anything. I was going to say that like this drug or that drug is worse. Obviously anything that's actually dangerous for you, but like with marijuana in particular, because it lasts so long, it's real fucked up to like dose somebody with like 40 milligrams or whatever when they're like a noob, or 50 or 60 or 100. I can't imagine what 100 milligrams of THC does to somebody, edible does to somebody who's has no
It's
tolerance
amazing.
whatsoever.
Oh,
Wouldn't they just
No
vomit?
tolerance.
Wouldn't
Like-
they just
like-
vomit probably?
Oh, they're gonna vomit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like
And then be
I've
high for like 8 hours.
I've done. They'll be high for more than 8 hours. They'll wake up high.
Will
They'll wake up the next day high. Yeah.
Will they remember it as a really traumatic experience, or barely remember it, or
It varies person to person, but the experiences that I've had with it and the people that I've seen remembered it as a traumatic experience the next day. Like one of the first times that one of the first times I made brownies, we had trimmings. Trimmings is when somebody who's growing a crop of marijuana, they trim off the parts that are like worthless. Essentially, they have a very low THC content.
okay?
Whereas the bud, the flower of it, like the center of that is where all the THC is really concentrated. That's the good stuff. It's the part, it's what you think of when you see marijuana. It's the part that gets broken up and put into pipes and joints and ground up and all those good things. But the trimmings are like leaves and all kinds of junk that gets
Stems.
cut off. Not necessarily stems, but mostly just like little leaves that they trim away. Well, I had 3 pounds of trimmings. So
A lot.
it's a shoebox or so full. So I just cooked those trimmings all down into 1 dose of oil and the oil wasn't green,
That is an unpredictable amount of THC.
God knows. Only God knows.
God knows.
It's somewhere between lethal and the worst night of your life. and the oil wasn't green. It's usually green. It was
Are you holding something up for us, Blade?
It was black.
No.
It was black like crude oil. and my girlfriend and I each ate a slice of that like brownie. And we put it in like a pie plate type thing and made like a round brownie. And it was like a fudge brownie even. We each ate a slice. First time's edibles ever. Nothing happened for like an hour and a half. And I was like, this is bullshit. I'm going to go have another slice. Ate half of another slice. It kicked in 30 minutes later. Yeah. And Trailer Park Boys became unwatchable. I did not know what episode I was watching anymore. I vomited after about 3 hours. And it was like that episode where Cartman shits out his mouth because it was a fudge brownie coming out in a giant chunk out of just shitting out of my mouth.
So at this point, were you an Olympic level pot smoker or fairly low tolerance?
I was probably smoking every other day, and like maybe 1 or 2 nights a week. I was getting real good and high and playing a lot of Skyrim, but not Olympic level. Certainly, I would say like a 3 out of 10 or something like that.
On the leading edge of the bell curve.
Yeah, I was a bronze medal pot smoker, and so this was like kicking the ass for me. My girlfriend, very similar pot experience. You know, she'd keep some at her place. She'd smoke a couple nights a week. Mostly though, just when people, like a social smoker, I would say, like yeah, if we're all getting together, let's smoke a little, that sort of thing. Her metabolism much slower than mine. We had finished watching TV, gone up to bed, gotten in bed, and gone to sleep. And I'm coming down. I'm getting better. She wakes up, bolt upright in the bed. This has got to be 4 or 5 hours after we ate it. She's like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And I'm like, You're at my house. You're at my house, baby. What's wrong?" She's like, "Where do you live?" And I'm like, "I live in Gumlog." She's like, starts crying. "That's so far from where I live." And I'm like, yeah, it's okay though, because I'm here with you. We're together, right? And she's like clutching on to me like we're like that fucking Titanic scene with Jack and Kate by holding on to that fucking door. And I'm just like, "Baby, it's okay. It's okay." She's like, "I'm so thirsty. My mouth is just," and she does like, and like you can hear her mouth. It's so dry, like tacky. I'm like, "All right, I'll go get you some water real quick. You want ice?" She's like, "Don't leave me. Don't leave me." She was freaking the fuck out.
When she woke up, it would have been a good bit to be like, "Who the hell are you?
How'd you get in here?
How did you get in here? I'm calling the police."
Oh God, she'd have just died.
Just had a panic attack and died.
Yeah, you can have some really bad episodes on that stuff. It's no joke. You've got to like work your way up and learn how it's going to affect your body. And that stuff out in Colorado and Seattle is the way to do it, or Washington State, because you're getting a measured dose. 10 milligrams means 10 milligrams.
And those little bits of chocolate don't taste. I mean, they don't taste like really good chocolate, but like you'll eat a little bite of like a Crunch bar or whatever with 10 milligrams in it when you're out there, and it's like that. If someone fed this to me, I would be like, "That's iffy. That's got pot in it." But like, it doesn't taste bad. You don't have to
it doesn't taste bad.
You know what does taste bad is I bought a Blue Moon weed beer from a dispensary when I was there, and it was more just a novelty thing. It was like, "Oh, that's neat. It's a beer with no alcohol, and it's 5 or 10 milligrams of weed." Not good. Just not good. So when you guys are out there, don't buy that. That's a waste of money.
So you said